Assalamu alaikum. I am Sadil Arifin Rafi. For the concept map presentation, we have selected the background chapter from the book called Principles of Distributed Database System. Let me present the concept map of our selected chapter. This chapter divides into two sections, one focusing on relational DBMS and another on computer networks. Today I will delve into relational DBMS section. A relational database can be visualized as a structured assembly of data predominantly represented in the form of tables. This segment further splits into two subsections, normalization and relational data languages. Normalization's primary objective is to rectify various anomalies within a relation, thereby achieving more refined relations. Within a relational scheme, four potential issues can arise: repetition anomaly, update anomaly, insertion anomaly, and deletion anomaly. The repetition anomaly refers to the unnecessary redundancy of certain information. The update anomaly implies that data modifications can become challenging due to repeated data insertion. Insertion anomaly suggests potential challenges in adding new data to the database. Conversely, deletion anomaly signifies the inverse of insertion. Moving on to the another facet of relational DBMS is relational data languages. These languages are broadly categorized into two fundamental groups: relational algebra and relational calculus. Relational calculus-based languages differentiate themselves by emphasizing the desired result rather than the process to achieve it. Specifically, they define the end result by outlining the relationships that should be upheld. Furthermore, relational calculus languages are divided into two types: tuple calculus and domain relational calculus. That's all from my part. Now Rahin Mustafa will present his part.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Rakhin Mustafa. I will continue the next part of the presentation. Calculus. Calculus, the primitive variable used, is a tuple variable which specifies a tuple of our division. The fundamental difference between the tuple relational language and our domain relational language is the use of a domain variable in the literature. A domain variable ranges over the values in a domain and specifies a component of a tuple. Another relational data language is relational algebra language. Relational algebra language consists of a set of operators that operate on relations. Some of them are selection, injection, submit, join, and safety selection that produce a horizontal subset of a given relation. On the other hand, projection produces a vertical subset of a relation. Since a semi-joint is a technique for processing a join between two tables that are stored sides. The second theory consists of some other operations like union, intersection, and Cartesian product. The union of sets is a set containing all elements that are in A or in B, possibly both, where intersection of two relations R and S consists of the set of all tacos that are in both R, and is the Cartesian product of two relations. R and S is a set of tuples where each result is a concatenation of one tuple of R with A. Lastly, one tuple of S is for all tuples of R and S. This is all about the relational database management system, and the rest part will be discussed by my other group member. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Irfanul Haq. I will present the rest of the chapter 2, which is the review of computer networks. These sections of chapter 2 discussed computer networking concepts relevant to distributed database systems. A computer network is an interconnected connections of autonomous computers that are capable of HIV information among themselves. There are various criteria by which computer networks can be classified. One criteria is the geographical distribution. In terms of geographical distribution, networks are classified as wide area networks or WAN, metropolitan area network or MAN, and local area network or LAN. A wide area network or WAN is one where the link distance between any two nodes. Two nodes are greater than approximately 20 kilometers and can go as large as thousands of kilometers. Local area network or LAN are typically limited in geographical scope, usually less than 2 kilometers. They provide higher capacity communications over inexpensive transmission media. Metropolitan area networks are between land and ones in scale and cover a city or a portion of it. As the name indicates, interconnection structure or topology refers to where nodes on a network are interconnected. Some popular topologies are bus, star, ring, and mesh. In bus topology, all the computers are connected to a common channel and primarily used in LAN. Networks connected to all the hosts to a central node that coordinates the transmission on the network. Ring networks interconnect the host in the form of a loop. They are now primarily used in MAN. Complete or missed interconnection is one where each node is interconnected to every other node and provides better performance than that of the structures discussed previously. In terms of physical communication schemes employed, networks can be either point to point or unicast or broadcast, sometimes also called multi-point networks. In point to point networks or in unicast networks, the communication is always between two nodes and the receiver and sender are identified by their addresses that are included in the message header. In broadcast network, there is a common communication channel that is utilized by all the nodes. In the network, messages are transmitted over. There is a common channel and received by all the nodes established. A physical connection between two hosts is not sufficient for them to communicate. Error-free, reliable, and efficient communication between host records. The implementation of elaborate software systems that are generally called protocol and resulting layer protocol set is referred to as a protocol stack or a protocol state. There are different protocols stacked for different types of networks. However, for communication over the network, the standard one is what is referred as TCP. It stands for Transport Control Protocol or Internet Protocol. TCP or IP is in fact a family of protocols commonly referred to as the protocol stack. It consists of two sets of protocol. One set is transport layer and another set is network layer. The transport layer defines the type of services that the network provides to applications to do a deal with varying requirements. At the transport layer, two protocols are provided. Those are TCP and UDP. That's all from me. Thank you.
Let us now briefly consider the other layers that are necessary to be able to build distributed application. One of them is the application layer protocol that provides specification that distribute application have to follow some other layers such as the physical layer that deals with physical data transmission issues such as signaling medium access control layer that defines protocol that control who can have access to the transmission medium and when and so on. Finally, to conclude, this chapter covered the basic issues related to relational database systems and computer networks. That is all from me. Thank you. UDP, on the other hand, is connectionless service that does not provide the reliability, flow control, and congestion control guarantee that TCP provides, nor does it establish a connection between the sender and the receiver beforehand. The network
layer implements the internet protocol or IP that provides the facility to package a message in a standard internet message format for transmission across the network. This internet message can be up to 64 kilobyte long and consists of header that contains among other things the IP addresses of the sender and the receiver machines and the message body itself. Assalamu alaikum. I am Rizvi Ahmed Kamal. Now I am going to present my part. TCP is connected oriented, meaning that prior setup is required between the sender and the receiver before actual messages transmission can start. It provides relevant transmission between the sender and receiver.